Right. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. For those of you that may not know me, I am the Garden Goddess, and this is Planting Seeds. In today's topic, I wanted to talk about the herb for stillness as we enter closer and closer into the cold, dark winter. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about the medicine that I am currently drinking today. If you follow me online, specifically on Instagram, my Instagram handle is the Garden Priestess. I'm always posting about my medicine for the day. I highly believe and recommend that people incorporate plant allies and plant medicine into their daily living and daily practices just to support them and support the energy of the day. And so I'm translating what I post on Instagram to YouTube. And so I wanted to share with you all what I'm drinking today, which is my bliss tea, which helps with relaxing the mind and body after a hard, long day. And it's great for just unwinding and just calming the nerves. And so this is the Bliss Tea, and you can find that at lauracineapothecary.com and on Etsy at Lauracine Apothecary, and I will link that down below. So today I wanted to talk to you all about the herb for stillness because as the winter is coming and it's getting colder and it's getting darker and daylight savings is like over, um, the seasonal blues are very common during this time. And so many of us look at the seasonal blues as something negative, but it's really a sign to turn within and to get quiet and to really listen and get ready to open to what is next for you. And so animals and nature always do it. They go within themselves for a season to prepare for the next year or for the next season. And this is a time of reflection. This is a time of restoration. And so I wanted to plant my own seeds out there to help the collective get through this upcoming season. We're in fall now, but winter is coming. Was that Game of Thrones? Winter is coming, girl. Winter is coming. Um, and I want to prepare you all for it and give you a plant ally to help you through this season, this upcoming season. I already feel it. I usually already feel when the seasons are changing in my body. I'm like, oop, it's time to go within. And so during this time, it's highly encouraged, and I also highly encourage you guys to get still and to reflect on your year and what it is that you hope for the next season and what seeds you want to plant for the future. And so the best herb that I could think of to help support us through this time is the most common, I think, herb of all time, and that is frankincense. I love frankincense, and so many of us got exposed to frankincense through our religious practices. And so, if you are Christian, I believe Catholics as well incorporate frankincense within the practice, then you will have known that frankincense was one of the first offerings given to Jesus when he was born by the Magi. It's also an herb that was discussed during the story of Moses. And so, so many of us know frankincense to be this very high ranking, this very royal herb, if you will, within religious practice, but also within spiritual practices. Frankincense is often used to help clear out the spaces and help call in the new and call in ancestral spirits. If you are someone that practices hoodoo and voodoo and Ifa, frankincense is heavily regarded. But I want to start from the beginning of frankincense usage, how many different frankincense there are, where it originated from, and then how I use it. So frankincense has often been used as a medicine to help with anti-inflammatory. So it's treated to use urinary infections. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's used to help with menstrual pain and external injuries such as disorders. It's helped with rheumatism. It's helped with bronchial, and I believe also your throat complaints. And so we use frankincense in America, but frankincense is also used in India in Ayurvedic medicine as well as traditional Chinese medicine. And so it's mainly regarded as a gum resin. And I actually use frankincense within my own blend. I talked about juniper last week, and I also use frankincense within this incense blend that I talked about last week. I also use it within the same incense blend with juniper. Sorry about that. So just to pick up where we left off, that I utilize a lot of frankincense within my own day-to-day practice with my own incense. But what I have observed and what I have seen from my own experiences, frankincense has often been used in its oil soluble form as well as its resin form, which is a much harder, much more pure aspect of incense and incense making. And although it has originated from India, Southern Arabia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, one of the main things outside of its origins of where you can find frankincense at is if we look at the uses over the years, whether it's medicinally, whether it's religiously, we can observe and witness that frankincense seems to form a bit of a coating around its users. And frankincense has been attributed highly to a form of protection. And so when we look at frankincense energetically, it's a way, the way frankincense forms itself around the users, it's a bit of like a safety container protecting you from harm's way, protecting you from those that may not wish you well, protecting you from even spiritual attacks. And it even provides a way of clearing out the space that is in and calling in high vibrating spirits, such as angels, such as guides, or even ancestors. And so I have found over the years through using frankincense, not as often as other herbs I have talked about previously, but frankincense seems to pair well with other herbs in forming protection magic, in performing magic that is supposed to be intended for clarifying or clearing. And it's a really, I think, safe herb to utilize within your practice and easily accessible. And so magically, frankincense has been attributed to anything regarding spirituality, anything regarding courage, and anything regarding protection. But I found that there's multiple ways that you can utilize this herb within your practice. And so I found that frankincense is great for creating anointing oils, creating holy waters, for spending time with your ancestors. Sometimes you like to set the space or set the mood for ancestral veneration, such as lighting your incense and multiple candles outside of the candles on your altar. Frankincense is a great herb to set the tone for the space because it's providing this sacred container for only you to participate in truly. And so I love frankincense because it really teaches you how to really go into hermit mode and really get still and really get silent with your spirits or with your highest power or your higher power. And so I love utilizing frankincense for stillness, because when you are in the midst of stillness, when you're in the midst of a season of isolation or fermentation, if you will, when you're in your season of just sitting with yourself, of trying to restore yourself, and even dealing with things that are coming up in that process, especially around the holidays and in this cold time, you are in a vulnerable place. You're in a bit of a fragile place, and you may feel a little bit more tender than normal. And so incorporating frankincense within the winter season provides that layer of coating, almost like a cocoon for yourself, similar to like butterflies. Um, I think they're called caterpillars, right? Caterpillars go within their cocoon for a season of isolation, and that cocoon provides a layer of protection and warmth for the caterpillar to ultimately grow. And then eventually it breaks out of that. And now it's evolved. And so I attribute a lot of frankincense power to providing that energetic cocoon for you to find shelter, for you to find what is it called? A safe space or solace, if you will. That's the word I was looking for. When you're looking for solace, you do need to make sure that you have the tools to keep you safe and sound and comfortable when you're in the midst of discomfort or even in the midst of sadness or sorrow or just tenderness in general. And so I love the use of frankincense during the winter time. And I highly encourage the collective to incorporate that, especially in this season where everything's a little more tender, whether that's good or bad, whether it's tender because you're with your family, you just feel so good, or you're tender because the seasons, the holiday make you feel away. Whatever the case is, utilizing this within your day-to-day practice of getting up in the morning, of going before you go to bed, burning frankincense, or even chewing on it. Some people utilize frankincense in that method. I haven't tried it, so if something happened, don't blame me, please. But burning frankincense and utilizing it within your practice can really attribute to creating a safe space for you to heal, for you to grieve, for you to grow, for you to expand. And so I love frankincense for that fact. Outside of that, I don't really use it, just to be honest. And so if you have found other ways to utilize frankincense within your practice, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you utilize frankincense for. And so I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all found this helpful. If you'd like to see more, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/the garden goddess, where I talk a lot more in depth about these herbs, where I also go into energy forecasts. I share different magical recipes that I know have worked for me and that have worked for so many other people that I have shown. I have our own planting seeds series within the Patreon, our own magic hour within the Patreon. Patreon is lit and you need to join. So I will leave that in the link below. And I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe and join me for my next video. And so I wish you all well during this season. I hope you all are enjoying this month of October, which is Hoodoo Heritage Month. If you all are celebrating Halloween, I hope you all are saved, and I will talk to you all in my next video. All right, take care now.